Here I will give you a quick tour of the portal. Over on the left-hand side, you'll find various tabs. There's a dashboard of general KPIs, a map of where your systems are, the sites, which are the physical installed addresses. You have the systems. As many systems as you want can roll up to one of those site addresses. Notifications, this is for all systems under your control, no matter where they're installed. Policies, this is where you set email and text options for alarms if you like. Users, groups, software updates, accessing systems, and file manager. Pretty much the only tabs I use are sites, systems, and the access manager. Access to give me access to systems that I'm installing, sites just to get to the physical addresses, and mostly the system page because I'm taking a look at the performance of the system or adjusting settings. So here we're actually on the site page, and I've got 4 different systems that are registered to this physical address. I can go look at each one independently to see how it's doing, but up under the options menu on the right side, there's a whole bunch of different things I can do, and one of them is a site overview report. I'm just pointing it out because it's handy. It's a single page report that gives me useful radio data and status information for all of these systems at this address. So if I go a little bit further down the page, I'm going to see surveys that may have been taken for people doing using Compass to do surveys like grid tests for public safety, things like that, and then notifications for all of your systems wherever they may be. Now here I'm going to click on one of those systems. This is the Quattro 4000 system in our product lab in San Diego. And this is what it looks like. I have some information. I've got its name. I have whether it is connected to the portal in the cloud through a wired LAN or a wireless modem. I've got the operators that are being relayed. I have the last timestamp that it checked in. All systems check in once an hour, and that gives me some running trend information about performance. Unless I actually take a look at the radio data information, and then it sends a command to the system requesting real-time updates. I can also turn off coverage units. You'll see the coverage units, extenders, network unit, even the hub is shown on this breakdown of all of the hardware by serial number. And then further down on the page, if there are any active alarms, they'll be shown here. Further down, I have alarm history. Just because there isn't an alarm right now doesn't mean that something may not have happened in the past, and I'd like to be able to track that. And then further down the page, there is policies. Now, what I did here is I selected one of the alarms, and it takes you to a page that tells you what you can do to resolve that specific alarm. Now, if I select the serial number from one of the pieces of hardware, it's actually going to take me to the radio data page. Here I've got the network unit and its RF KPIs, and I can go all the way down and check out the coverage units as well, and I can graph the data. Here I'm going to see AT&T. Radio A is doing band 2 LTE for AT&T. Radio B is doing band 12 LTE. If I want to chart something, I'll just select it. I can choose the last 24 hours, the last week, or the last month. It'll plot the data for me. I can hover my cursor over any data point to see what the actual measurements were. Again, if I select the other operators, it'll show me what their radios are doing, so I can evaluate everything. These icons represent the coverage unit cables. They're actually being measured for cable length. It's round trip speed of light. So if I click on that graphic, it'll bring up this window with the actual lengths measured. On some of them, you'll see 2 different measurements. That's because there's a QRE in the middle. This one, for example, has a 1 meter cable on one side of the QRE, and on the other side, the coverage unit side of that QRE, there is a second 1 meter cable. Now, going back out to the systems page, Under the options menu, I have settings. This is important. This is where you can make various settings changes to the system. Let's say you have a bad channel coming in from one of the operators and you'd like to get rid of that channel. I'm going to come here to the settings page and scroll down to channel band settings at the end, and different products will display different information. Here for the 4000, I have these specific bands that are being relayed for each operator, and if there was one that I wanted to get rid of, I would simply just deselect it. And then some products also give you individual channel control, which would be another window below this. If there's an operator that I'd like to disable altogether, I can also do it here from settings. If you have any issues, please contact your point of sale or call Nextivity support. Thank you.